Okay, as a Venezuelan American, I got some shit to say. My family, my parents, my sister, my extended family, all lost everything. Their work, their savings, their investments, gone. Wiped out by a narco dictatorship that has held Venezuela in a death grip for over 25 years. And what happened to my family has happened to millions, and yes, millions. The Venezuelan exodus is the second largest displacement crisis on earth after Syria. This is not just a tragedy. It is one of the great humanitarian disasters of our time. But the suffering doesn't end there. This regime has jailed hundreds of political prisoners. Thousands have been murdered simply for speaking out. More than a third of the population has fled. 1/3. Not for better opportunities or for the American dream, but to survive, to live, because staying often means death. And while the world may see Venezuela as a collapsed state, what it is in reality is an occupied one. Our territory, our natural resources, and our institutions have been overrun by hostile foreign powers. Iranian militias, Chinese corporations, Russian intelligence, all exploiting our country with impunity. Venezuela is no longer just a local crisis. It is now a geopolitical threat that endangers the entire Western Hemisphere. It has become a launch pad for an authoritarian expansion in the Americas. And in the midst of all of this, one woman has dared to lead the charge for freedom. Maria Corina Machado. In 2024, against every odd, she led a peaceful democratic uprising that won the election. Her team smuggled physical voting receipts out of the country, hard proof of victory that the regime tried to bury. Her courage has lit a fire in the hearts of millions of Venezuelans desperate to believe that change is still possible. But now some have questioned her decision to dedicate her Nobel Prize to Donald Trump. Okay, I get that. But here's the truth. It was a brilliant strategic move in the global chessboard of politics. Maria Corina is no fool. She knows exactly the kind of man Trump is. She knows how much he campaigned for it, loudly and relentlessly, to win that very same prize. She knows how symbolic and personal that recognition is to him. And precisely because of that, she understood that this gesture might be the thing that keeps his attention focused on Venezuela at a time when U.S. presence and pressure in the Caribbean is rising. She didn't dedicate that award to flatter him. She did it to protect and preserve the one kind of power that could help shift the course of history. Because for her, this isn't about pride. It's not about optics. It's about freedom. And let's be very clear. Maria Corina is not asking for the U.S. to invade Venezuela. She's not campaigning for war. Venezuela is already invaded. It is held hostage by a narco state, overrun by foreign agents and enemies of democracy, Russians, Iranians, Chinese, all operating freely, weaponizing our land and resources to expand their influence across Latin America. What Maria Corina is calling for, what millions of Venezuelans are praying for, is the support of the only military on earth capable of countering that threat and helping to free our people. This is not imperialism. This is liberation. She's not playing partisan games. She's playing for Venezuela's life. Because this isn't theoretical. This isn't academic. This is life or death. So yes, it is time to honor her bravery, but more importantly, it is time for the world, especially the free world, to recognize what's at stake. The fight for Venezuela is a fight for freedom, for democracy, and for the stability of an entire continent. If we truly care about liberty, human dignity, and peace in the Americas, then Venezuela's fight must matter to all of us. Que viva Venezuela, que viva María Corina Machado.
I came in this country when I was 10 years old, and ever since I was born, every single person in power of the country has abused us and abused of their power. We have been living in a dictatorship for about 20 years. So I can tell you, this feels like a breath of fresh air.
Did you feel this was the only way to get him out?
100%, 100%, yes. He will not leave. He's not the real president of Venezuela. No, it's not an act of war. It's an act of freedom.
I met Susie a second ago. Susie, one of the people out here with the Venezuelan flag. You were born in Venezuela.
Indeed, I was.
What did you think this morning? First of all, how did you find out?
Well, I actually found out through my family in Venezuela almost at 2 o'clock in the morning. She called me extremely scared. Well, actually, she doesn't call me at that time. She called me and she says, oh my God, listen, she was crying, and I literally heard the bombs and the airplanes, and she was crying. And then I said, don't hang up on me. She goes, I'm not, and she went off, and she said, we have no power. Then I tried reaching my father. I reached another family member. They were all without power. I couldn't get a hold of them until 5 in the morning.
How do you feel now?
Oh my God. Listen, this is a bittersweet sensation. Why? Because sweet, because look at us. I mean, this is amazing. Finally, we saw Maduro, thief, coming down. You know, literally leaving Venezuela. However, bitter because I wish my family was here. I wish I would be able to hold them, Brian, and literally, you know, have this emotional time with them and hug them, you know?
You were just watching the phone. You were watching News Nation as we're waiting to see Maduro come off the plane.
Yes.
What does that feel like?
Oh my God. Listen, again, it's an emotion. Listen, look at my eyes. I've been crying so much because Brian, he stole from us. Not only him, Chavez. It's been 26 years. Listen, my grandmother passed away 3 months ago. I couldn't even go see her. I was raised in this country. But the fact that I don't have a Venezuelan passport because we cannot enter with our American passport, just like Cubans, how sad it is.
And just lastly, Susie, so people can understand, your dad worked for the oil company there,
yes,
and they took everything from him.
They took properties from my family. Yes, they did. The government did that, yes.
Imagine what your dad would think.
Well, imagine it was very sad, yes. My dad worked hard for that, yes.
Thank you, Susie.
Thank you.
I just want to talk to you, America.
Guys, history is being made in real time. There are hundreds of people here. And tell me, why did you want to be out here?
Well, okay, before I begin, I just want to talk to you, America, and I hope you have your coffee when I tell you this, but these are great news. All eyes on Venezuela. These are historical news. This is history in the making. I mean, my chest, it feels like it's gonna explode with joy. Like President Donald Trump and María Corina Machado just created an opportunity for us to begin working harder than ever, because that's what we have always been doing, but now we will be working in our country. But you know, we also have worked so hard here in the United States to build so much things, and I just want to thank you, America. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to work. Yeah, come celebrate with us. We love everybody because you, America, has loved us so much. So much. Thank you, America.
A dictator has fallen in Venezuela. Why are those that love democracy like me not celebrating? It has been made clear by the Trump administration and Trump himself that he will not be installing the actual elected leader, Corina Machado. And there were rumors before this that he had made a deal with some general. We'll see if that actually pans out. But for those of us that grew up in this generation of knowing what had happened in Iraq and Afghanistan, the only thing that I see is the future of Venezuela and those people that are celebrating right now on the streets that the dictator has fallen, in the same way that those people danced around with joy around Saddam's fallen statue, that danced in the street with the fall of the Taliban, with the exception that we won't be investing billions of dollars. There hasn't been that promise made as it was in those places. So the future is actually even more bleak. While there will be infrastructure around the Venezuela's resources, that's the only promise we're getting right now. So that for me is what I see in terms of when I see this dictator has fallen. I don't see democracy thriving. I see, unfortunately, the makings of another failed state. And Venezuelans have one opportunity right now to really see through this, and in the chaos, hopefully the coalition of opposition doing something to assert their power. But this should be concerning to all of us, because those of us that have seen Republicans and Democrats and everyone who saw and was angry about the decades of money down the drain for when we left Iraq and Afghanistan, we didn't leave those places any better, if not worse. And so that is exactly what's happening here, folks. Please, if you are Latino and your parents are watching the news, they're watching people celebrate on the street, please talk to them about this. This is beyond not time for a celebration. Stay informed, stay in community, and what can you do from your couch? Call your congressperson. Hold them accountable, that they need to do their job and hold this administration accountable for starting another war without declaration and investing our resources in another potential.
Te lo juro. Te lo juro. Lo puso Trump. Sí, lo agarraron. Qué arrecho, flaca. ¿Viste?
Apaga, mi amor.
Ah, coño.
Was a season where we don't have electricity, like in your area, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you are not going to have electricity in your house from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. And on Wednesday, for 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we live with that for so long. Same with the water. The water is coming just 1 hour, 12 to 1. You need to take all the water that you need at that time to drink, to clean, to shower, to do everything in 1 hour. We won't need to say goodbye anymore to our families in the airport. Tell them, see you soon, knowing that it's a lie, because you don't know how long it will happen until you see them again. We celebrate them because we grow up normalizing things that could never be normal, like going to the supermarket and don't find nothing on it. Like have all the money that you have in your pockets, but you want to buy food and it's not food in there. Knowing that you need to go and do lines at 4 a.m. in the morning, huge lines to get a bag with food. Knowing that it's no medicines in the pharmacy and you need to find antibiotics in Facebook. Narcoterrorism, corruption. He stole billions of dollars. He killed a bunch of innocent people in protest. He put on jail. He tortured. Venezuela have one of the biggest torture places, recruitments in the world. Yeah, that very old wise, he's still doing that. He destroyed every democratic institution that can exist in Venezuela. We vote. We have presidential election and he lose and he don't want to leave the power. So what's no other way to take him out? I am more than happy because we tried everything. This was like our last hope. This is what we was waiting for and finally happened. And I am more happy because I feel was a smooth intervention. I thought was going to be more chaotic, like with Panama years ago, but no, they reached 2 a.m. in the morning. By 3 a.m., they take the man out. They don't kill nobody. They don't. It's not even a civil person dead. So yeah, I am. A lot of people asking about the oil. All the Venezuelans know that Trump is doing this because the oil. We know this. We know that Trump is not doing this because I love Venezuelans and I care so much about them. We know that it's about the oil. But we are right now giving our oil to China and Russia, and we don't see benefits from it. The country is destroyed. We have nothing. We need to leave and run away and live somewhere else because there's no opportunities there. If the United States want to go back and do it, but it's China, Russia, whatever doing right now, go back. Because when the United States was there and was Halliburton and all these American companies in Venezuela, we were rich, we have money, we have opportunities, we have everything. All the Venezuelans that leave the country because this man and this man regime can go back home. You don't have idea of all the Venezuelans that wanna go back home. You think like we love that in Trinidad they tell us Venice go back home, or they treat us bad. It's not just in Trinidad, sorry. This is like across the world, because I understand we are everywhere. We are everywhere because we was forced to be everywhere except home. I had more comments to answer, but a lot of the questions are about the oil, so I wanna tell you this. Put yourself on the shoes of an actual Venezuelan person. Put yourself in my dad's shoes that worked through years to build something, that study hard and work hard, and then one day for the other lose everything, have no job and have no option because at his age he cannot leave the country and start to work somewhere else because he's an old person, right? He don't lose just his job, he don't lose just the money, he lose his family because he can see his daughter just one time per year, because his daughter need to leave the country to look for a better future. And this is not, I am not talking about my dad, I am talking about the reality of every single Venezuelan person. Like the dad of the person that clean your house, your taxi driver that probably is an engineer, a lawyer, a doctor. That reality.
As a Venezuelan, I have some things to say. Firstly, I am immensely grateful and feel immensely blessed to be alive through the time where my country has been liberated from 26 years of dictatorship. I'm 22. I was born and raised in dictatorship. I never knew any better, just worse. But I always knew that that was not the right or normal lifestyle. I want to say that I've always been on the right side of the story, where freedom has always been the main point. Many leftists and people that don't understand Venezuelan government, people that don't understand Venezuelan culture, and people that don't even know what the capital's name is, are starting to speak and say that this is a bad thing. As a Venezuelan, I'm gonna tell you, this is a very, very good thing. I never knew this was going to be the start of my 2026, but only by this historic, ginormous, incredible action, I know that this year is going to be a good one. As a Venezuelan that has always been on the right side, on the side of freedom, on the side of human rights, on the side of love, what I have to say is God bless America. God bless the American troops that liberated my country, and God bless the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. His mercy, his endless opportunities, and his professional actions are admirable. And for that, I think all Venezuelans will always be grateful. It's a good day, guys. This is the beginning of our beautiful country being restored.
make Venezuela great again. And one more thing. If God ever gives me the opportunity to meet one of the military soldiers that were part of the mission, I'm going to hug them tight. I'm going to thank them for their service. I'm going to pray over them. And I'm going to make sure, which they probably already know, but I'm going to make sure that they hear it from me, that I've never been so grateful in my life. Y'all have a beautiful day. Venezuela libre. Los amo. Los amo mucho.
My family's still in Venezuela, and I've been looking forward to this day for so many years. Thank you, President Trump.
I'm so happy because now Venezuela is free.
People have been gathering to celebrate the fall of the U.S. regime. Many of the people here told me they fled Venezuela either during Maduro's regime or during that of his predecessor, Hugo Chavez. Behind me, also people chanting. Just a few moments ago, they were chanting, "It's fallen, it's fallen, the regime has fallen." The mood here is absolutely ecstatic.
It's 4:30 in the morning. Let's go wake up my husband and tell him that Nicolas Maduro was captured by the United States. Joel. Amor.
Tío.
Capturaron a Nicolas Maduro. Capturaron a Nicolas Maduro.
Mentira.
No.
Eso jodiendo, no capturaron nada. Mentira.
Joel, ¿qué hago yo levantándote a las 5 de la mañana diciéndote esto?
Eso es mentira. Sufran, coño, que sufran. Celebrar, coño, celebrar la libertad, coño, la libertad. Gracias, Estados Unidos. Dios mío, qué notición, qué noticia. Dímelo aquí.
Te dije.
Ahora vienen los cabrones estos, ahora que vengan estos.
Gracias a la providencia.
El pueblo finalmente está libre. El pueblo llora por su libertad. Gracias a los Estados Unidos por liberarnos. ¡Y viva la libertad!
I just want to give a big congratulations to you Venezuela people for the huge celebration that is going on in your country. To this crazy leadership you had in your country that was actually in power for decades and chooses not to leave and made your country as miserable. But thank God that you guys are free. You know what baffles me is the fact that President Trump made this happen in less than a few hours. He didn't do it to destroy the country. He penetrated into the country, picked whom he wanted to pick, and he was out. He did that in Nigeria as well. And so this kind of movement is just amazing. It amazes me. And I'm so happy for you, Venezuela people. I know that the best is yet to come for you guys. I don't know you guys that much, but I just want to celebrate. What is meant to be celebrated is that you guys are moving into another era in life. And I hope the best is what you guys get. You deserve the best. Thank you, President Trump, for making this people as happy as how they can possibly be. These people are incredibly happy. And this joy, if not for God, if not for you, President Trump, I don't think this is going to take place. There's a Bible verse that always say that if God be for us, who can be against us? So this, I celebrate God and I celebrate the people. Congratulations.
I'm sorry if you are not a Venezuelan, if you are not from Venezuela, if you don't have family in Venezuela, you need to be now quiet. It's the moment for the Venezuelan people to speak. Don't talking about Venezuela if you are not Venezuelan.
Venezuelans in New York City are celebrating the U.S. military actions on Caracas, Venezuela overnight. We are hearing directly from them. They are telling us that they are happy for the capture of Nicolás Maduro. What was your first reaction when you learned that there were strikes on Caracas in Venezuela overnight?
Oh, I was so happy. My country didn't have future because we tried everything to change the...
Earlier today here in Times Square, we saw hundreds of people protesting, condemning the U.S. actions on Venezuela and calling them illegitimate. We did try to find Venezuelans, speak to them in the protest, but we were not able to find any.
It's an abuse of power. They have no right to invade Venezuela. They have no right to their resources.
I was also able to ask some of the Venezuelans that I was able to speak to today if they would go back to Venezuela if things there do change and get better. It's a peaceful transition of power in Venezuela. Would you go back? Si hay una transición pacífica del poder, ¿regresarías a Venezuela?
Sí, claramente, regresaría sin pensarlo.
Saying he would go back to Venezuela in a heartbeat. And that is the same reaction I got from everyone I was able to speak to today. These Venezuelan nationals telling me here in New York that they would gladly go back to their country if things do get better there.
Venezuela's free. Everyone in Venezuela's free. My family's free. Yeah, but we only freed you because Trump likes oil and... okay, that's fine. Venezuela's free though. We're free. No, it's not fine. He's a dictator and all he wants is more and more and more. You should not be happy about it. My friend, do you know the leader that we had in our country? That's a dictator. Do you know who we have in your country? Someone that just freed us. Why are you guys so unhappy with your own leader? Yeah, basically the same thing as Maduro. We don't want that. We want someone else. And you guys should not be celebrating. This is bad for everyone, for everybody. I'm very happy, my friend. And I honestly don't know why you're not. Just be happy with me.
Ay, qué emoción. Ay. I'm so happy. Ay, gracias, Dios mío. Ahora necesitamos que Cuba sea libre también, Dios mío. Ay. No lo puedo creer. No lo puedo creer.
You okay, Mom?
I'm so happy por los venezolanos y por el pueblo de Venezuela. Ay, Dios mío, qué emoción. Ay, si mi Cuba fuera libre así también, oh my God. Tengo eso. Tengo que llamar a Oriana. Tengo que llamar a Oriana, fíjate. Esa es la noticia más buena que me han dado a mí en mucho tiempo. Increíble. Vaya, tan hijo de puta y tanto que ha hecho sufrir al pueblo de Venezuela. Unbelievable news. Estoy emocionadísimo. Estoy, like, unbelievable. Con dos guardias así que se lo llevan. ¿Tú lo viste? Con
con los guardias de los Estados Unidos que se lo llevaban. Hijo de puta.
El pueblo finalmente está libre. El pueblo llora por su libertad. Gracias a los Estados Unidos por liberarnos. ¡Y viva la libertad!
Oye, el dictador cayó. Finalmente. Estamos libres, estamos libres. ¡Viva Venezuela libre! Gracias, Dios. Gracias. Oye, el dictador cayó finalmente. Granadito, hermano, esto es real. Estamos libres. Mira, mira cómo está la gente. ¡Viva Venezuela libre! Gracias a Dios, esto es para todos los que aguantaron, se logró.
Estamos libres finalmente. Gracias, Donald Trump. ¡Viva la libertad!
¡Viva!
El pueblo finalmente está libre. El pueblo llora por su libertad. Gracias a los Estados Unidos por liberarnos. ¡Y viva la libertad!
Oye, el dictador cayó. Finalmente. Estamos libres, estamos libres. ¡Viva Venezuela libre! Gracias, Dios. Gracias. Oye, el dictador cayó finalmente. Granadito, hermano, esto es real. Estamos libres. Mira, mira cómo está la gente. ¡Viva Venezuela libre! Gracias a Dios, esto es para todos los que aguantaron, se logró.
Estamos libres finalmente. Gracias, Donald Trump. ¡Viva la libertad!